How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're gonna do a little review here on the Roush exhaust. I've had the exhaust for probably 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. I don't think it's quite been a month yet, but go through, tell you guys what I think about the exhaust. Is it too loud, too quiet, just the right note, or if it's too annoying and everything about it. But basically, we're just gonna get right into that. But what's a better way than to go for a little drive? Now the exhaust is pretty loud, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard people tell me from the outside it's even more insane. I personally haven't really heard it from the outside too much. Like, I've heard it rev, but I've never heard it under load from the outside. But on the inside, it's fairly quiet, and that was one of my main concerns when I bought the exhaust. I was worried about the car being a little too loud and not being able to hear myself think, or just not being able to hear myself talk to another person in the car, but that's definitely not the case at all. If you're going above 2,000 RPM, honestly, the car isn't very loud up until then. Like, it has a very good tone to it, but you can easily hear the person you're talking to. On the highway, I've had absolutely no issue with drone or anything like that. The exhaust does not drone. It is a very good system for the money that you paid for it, especially compared to the other competitors at that price range. But when you do downshift and give it a little bit, the car is pretty loud. Now, I haven't really noticed any differences between, like, performance-wise. Maybe the car is a little bit more lively, but it's just pretty much tone. After tune, I'll get a little bit more power out of it or something like that, but honestly, there's not much of a difference. It's just mainly the exhaust note. But for loudness, if you want a loud exhaust, this is the correct way to go, because when you get it over 2,500 RPM, or even like at this RPM, I've heard people tell me my car is insanely loud. I haven't really heard it from the outside too well and too many times, but it is a loud exhaust and it's definitely louder from the outside. In the 2018 and up Mustangs, they did a really good job at sound deadening, and they completely changed it from the previous years, or at least we believe it did, because from the inside it's completely different. You can't really hear, like, if I roll the window down, you can hear how much louder the car is. And that's honestly why I really like this exhaust, because it's loud from the outside. You roll the windows down and it's really loud. You don't want it to be loud. You just roll the windows up, you put in a lower gear, and you can hear the person, you can hear yourself very easily. Keep in mind, this is a daily driver, so that was one of the main things I needed. I needed to be able to hear myself and actually be able to make phone calls, hear my passenger and stuff like that, and I can do all of that with this exhaust. Not crazy loud when you don't want it to be. It can be very subtle. It's always going to be a little bit louder than normal cars. Obviously, there's a 5.0 V8. I rolled the window down. This is just normally taken off. The car is loud, but it's not unbearable, unlivable. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the cold starts are insanely loud. If you're looking to make your neighbors mad in the mornings at 7 o'clock, this is the exhaust to go with, because it is insanely loud. I'll play a sound clip right here. When it starts up, it kind of makes me feel bad for my neighbors, just a little bit, because of how loud it is. I also feel bad for the other people in my house, because they're asleep at that time, and then it starts up and basically wakes everyone up. But it does quiet down after about a minute, but the cold startup is pretty aggressive. I have noticed a little bit of a change in the tone of the exhaust. The exhaust used to be very raspy, and over time it's become a little bit more throaty, as it's kind of been broken in. It has gone to a little bit more throaty, but the rasp is still very much present when you do put it down, but it's definitely changed a little bit. It's also popping a little bit more than it was before, and it's not very aggressive or over the top with the popping. It's not like a burble tune or anything like that. This exhaust just has the right noise level and it has the right bit of rasp to it, also mixed in with a very throaty and aggressive noise. And if you're thinking about getting this for your Mustang, I highly suggest it. I know there's the other I know a lot of the other competitors to this are a little bit more expensive, but You honestly can't go wrong with this exhaust. I'm loving every second of it. Drone isn't terrible and it sounds insane. I'll play a couple sound clips. Now, I have noticed a little bit of an issue coming with my Mustang. I'm pretty sure it's not because of the exhaust. I'm getting it checked out. I'm going to make a video on that in a little bit here. So, I don't think it's because of my exhaust, and it did happen at about the time I did get the exhaust, but I'm pretty sure it's completely unrelated. So, we're going to have to get that checked out. I'm a little scared, but it should be fine, I guess. Basically, all I have for this video. I'm just really, really enjoying the car. There's obviously things I want to do. I'm definitely not going to touch the exhaust anymore after this, because if I made it louder, I don't think I could daily drive it. Other than that, that's all I have, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.